Yeah. Welcome back.
I know. I mean, it's only been a week, but it feels like it's been longer.
It feels way longer.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think it feels way longer. But this is what, episode 3?
Yeah. Episode 3. Um, and sorry if I look like a disheveled mess, but we're recording early today.
Sure are.
So
We're
like,
keeping it real. We're
yeah,
keeping it real.
a kid may run in on your end.
Yeah.
Um, I just got my son out the door for school, and it's very important that I just take some time for myself after he leaves. So I'm like, I'm just gonna show up how I show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, girl. I love it. I love it. I think you look cute.
Thanks. I feel like my hair. This was just how I woke up out of bed, pretty much. So
Na- So it's so natural. It's wavy. I like it a lot.
thanks.
It's like so in right now. Okay. So do we want to get into it?
Hmm.
Okay. So Ultimatum
Oh,
season 3, apparently. I didn't know it was season 3, but it's season 3.
yeah. I
I
can't
looked at
remember if I've only watched one of the other seasons or both of them. I'll have to go back and look at that. But yeah, season 3.
Yeah. I I don't think I finished the first one. I think I started the first season, and then watching this first episode reminded me why I like wasn't that into it, I guess.
Yeah, tell me more. You mentioned this over text. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to know the details.
I'm really excited to finish it though, like and give it the whole season like my complete attention versus being like, meh, this isn't like my favorite. Okay, so tell me what you think about the concept of the whole show. Like, how do you feel about couples who one person really wants to get married and the other one doesn't, so then they go date other people? Like, how do you feel about that?
Is this why you quit watching it the first time?
Yeah.
Um, okay, so my own personal opinion is that I just think ultimatums don't work. I mean, I know like Vanessa Lachey gave Nick Lachey an ultimatum and it worked for them and they're super happy. But what she said at the beginning of that episode about how what she realized and what she has never spoken about before is like it actually she needed to look at herself, like she was pointing the finger at him of all the things he
Yes.
needed to change. And then she was like, I have to like actually look at myself because I'm telling him I want kids, but I'm out partying all the time. And so anyway, so I think that worked really well for them in part because she was introspective
Yes.
and
Uh-huh.
it wasn't about going and dating other people. It was about like, oh, fuck, I've been saying all these things. And like having that space from him gave her the room to go inward and be self reflective.
Right. Yes. And she wasn't showing up like she wanted to get married. Yeah. I thought that was really good advice. I
Yeah.
thought that was really good advice.
Oh, great advice. She took ownership. Um, I just think that if I don't have a problem if someone's not ready and they say, I'm not ready for this. So I realize like I need to like go figure out why I'm not ready for marriage and you are. Like we've been dating 3 years, you're ready. I'm not. What the fuck am I doing? Let me look at that.
Yeah.
But I think when the person who wants to get married is like, I'm giving you an ultimatum, you figure it out or you be with me. It's like that. I don't know. It doesn't work in my mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think what like the concept of the show is interesting, but like to me, most the only receiver, there's one receiver that surprised me, the one that received the ultimatum. But the rest of them who were receiving the ultimatum, just like the way they were like, well, I'm not, like, clearly they're not sure about the person that they're with. Like,
Right.
my opinion. So I'm like, I
No,
don't know
you're
what
right.
the show is going to like prove anything. The only thing for me, like if I was in that situation, the only thing for me being like the giver or the receiver or whatever, maybe the giver. That's a perspective I have. If I was the giver and I was on that season, the only comfort I would have is that I would be dating somebody else. You know what I mean? Like that's
100%.
that would be why I would do it, because I could automatically have a band-aid to make me feel better
Oh
for
my
the fact
God.
we're not going to get married.
Oh my God. Yeah. Cause it's like, obviously, if you're giving an ultimatum, you're not happy. So why are you so dead set on marrying this one person who doesn't want to marry you?
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting thing that, and by the way, I really believe we can know in ourselves, like, I really believe this person is my husband or my wife, and the timing doesn't line up. So then you get to choose, okay, am I gonna be patient and wait for the timing to line up, or am I gonna just like move on?
Yeah.
But trying to force them into your timing and maybe even into the universe's timing,
Mm-hmm.
like isn't helpful. But I don't know if I really answered your question about the dating thing. I think if you're wanting to date other people, then you probably, that's your answer about if you want to get married.
Yes, that is exactly what I feel the same way. I just am like, okay. One, I forget who it was. One of the guys was like, oh yeah, I think whoever is like really cute. And I'm like, I mean, I don't think as a married person, I don't think you can't look at somebody and go, okay, that person's really cute. Or even somebody who's like serious committed to somebody. Like, I'm not saying you can't do that, but when you're going on this show, knowing that you're going to be dating somebody and like you're excited about it, that probably really is your sign that like you either don't want to marry the person you're with or you're just not ready. And it's okay. It's totally fine. Totally
Yeah.
fine.
So I have another question that
Okay.
this is leading me to. Is it possible? Okay, because we're both line threes in human design. And for anyone who doesn't know, what in the heck I'm talking about, like human design, I'm not going to go into all the details, but it's similar to astrology. It involves I Ching and other things. And anyway, you have like a body graph and a map of your body at the time of your birth. And line threes are like experimenters, and we play with things, and we kind of like fell forward. We're meant to make quote unquote mistakes, but they're not mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So, is it possible that maybe some people just really are like, I just need another experience to know for sure if this is the one?
Okay. Yes. I think yes. Oh, I can't hear. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. There it goes. I'm like, it stopped talking.
Sometimes.
Um, I think you're right. I think yes. There are some people like Dave. Okay. I wrote him down. Dave, for example, I feel like yes.
Wait, tell me which one's Dave, because I get their names.
So he's with Vanessa.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
They're both like in their 30s, and he was the receiver of the ultimatum. But then at the end, it was like he went up to Vanessa and he's like, I think I've got my picture, I've got my message, I'm clear. And she's like, no, no, we're gonna do this. Like we're gonna see
Yes.
this through, which I was kind of surprised because as the giver, if the person who like
Mm.
your ultimatum to is already changing their mind, I'd be like, okay, cool, let's go. Like, let's go
Oh,
figure
you
this.
would?
Yeah, I think I would. But I
See,
think about Nick. I think she's intrigued.
I do too, but I kind of wondered, like me personally, I think I would wonder, like, part of me would love that a man would like get it. But first of all, as I said before, I really wouldn't. I don't see myself giving an ultimatum because it's like either you choose me or you don't. Like, I'm the woman here in this relationship. I'm the receiver. I'm in my fem. Come get me, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but let's just pretend like I'm her in this scenario. I would, part of me would love because of that feminine aspect of myself that I'm really committed to in relationship. I would love that he got it and he wanted me now. But another part of me, I think, would be like, you're just scared and you don't like seeing me with someone another man. Like you don't like seeing me be happy with someone else and laughing. And so that isn't a reason to marry me.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like, I mean, I get what you're saying because if she wanted to marry him so much, then wouldn't she just be happy with that? But I think I don't know if I would trust it
Yeah.
if it happened that quickly. And I also think, because I don't personally think like I wouldn't want someone to marry me just because they were afraid of losing me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's really true. So then the whole concept of the show would be like something yeah, because you're like, I'm not going to force somebody to marry me because they're afraid to lose me. So the whole concept of the show, I feel like, is kind of like that, like
Well, yeah,
parts of
but
it.
doesn't it become more? Okay, so I watched all of at least one, maybe both other seasons.
Uh-huh.
I know you stopped, but like it, the concept it becomes where by having another experience, you kind of like face that fear and you know I could lose this person or not. And then it becomes about, or it can become about, not it doesn't have to because it's like up to the person, but it can become about like, oh, am I getting everything I really like? I thought I wanted to marry this person so badly, but now I'm with this other person and I'm realizing that there were a lot of my needs that weren't being met. Or like, I thought I didn't want to marry this person, but now I'm in this trial marriage with someone else and I actually appreciate who I was with more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. There's lots of pieces and parts to this. Yeah, now that we're talking about it. Because I at first am like, no, no, no. Like, no way could I ever like the person that I love and want to be with. There's no way I could take this show on and like be in a room with them all together. Like I thought that was really hard.
Yeah.
So I think that it's interesting that we're like out because there is more to it
Yeah.
than yeah. That's really interesting. So what was like a big standout moment to you in the show, like in this episode?
Okay, hold on. I made notes. Let me look at my little. Oh, and also while I'm looking at this, who was the person that received one that you were surprised? Was it Dave or someone different?
It was Dave. Dave was the one that surprised me
Okay.
because he's like, oh wait, I could actually lose that. But I guess if you go back to Dave, a little bit of his character or personality or whatever, I don't even know how to say it. Like he also had a moment where he was like, oh crap, like the person I was super into, like when we were dating, wasn't into me. So maybe, like I'm not as great as I was. Maybe I need to run back to Vanessa.
Right. So, okay, so there were a couple of things that stood out to me. Um, one is that I had texted you that Vanessa like was whining and got on my nerves.
Yeah.
And that was when she was with Dave. And then when she was with Nick, it was like she was a different person.
Yes.
She wasn't whining like that. She wasn't. And I was
I
like,
felt like she have been a little bit whiny. Like her personality to me seems to be like, you know how sometimes people are like they try and get attention and maybe not such a great stay over there, not such a great way. And I don't mean that mean, but I feel like some women their version of going into their femme is like being needy or like
Yeah,
wanting a lot of experience? Do they like phrase stuff a certain way? What do you need?
I want to. I want a Papa toy.
Okay, we will in a little bit. Go finish your show. I'm almost done.
Can I have candy?
Go watch your show. Yes, you can have a snack.
I want a banana.
We're debating.
Right. Amazing.
Like,
Ooh, she.
no, this way. Go that way. Go that way.
Why is it locked?
Because I want it locked. Go that
It's like this is the perfect opportunity to ask for candy because mom needs me to be like not here.
I was really debating, like, do I not? Okay, anyways.
Perfect. No, but like
keeping it real around here.
Yeah, it's perfect. Her personality. I mean, first of all, let me just speak to that right now about the kid coming in. I think that's great because that's the whole reason. Like we're playing, we're getting connection, we're doing a podcast, we're like doing something that we're passionate about and that we love, and we're doing it because like our priority is being a mom.
Yeah,
we're doing it in a way where our kids revolves around our kids, and that's great.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate the flexibility. I was just thinking that. Yeah,
it's perfect.
Real on here.
So anyway, I do think some women don't. It does take a lot of practice to learn how to be feminine and in your feminine energy and in receivership and asking for what you want and need. And number one, not feeling needy because we're taught in our society like that's a bad thing. And number two, to do it without the needy energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it just takes a lot of practice. But when I was watching her, it just was a good reminder that like we really do all show up so differently with different people.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I just liked her more with Nick. And maybe it's just because it was new or whatever. Maybe she would go into that other part of her.
Yeah, but I feel like her and Nick really clicked. Like I feel really like into it. I feel like that was really good for him too, because I think he was so set on Sandy, but her vibes to me are she is not ready. Like she still wants to play and have fun. And I'm kind of surprised how long these people have been dating each other. Like 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. To me, by 3 years in, I don't know. I feel like it's more of a comfort and like relaxing versus versus new and fresh. You know what I mean? But she was giving me like she was real young vibes. Okay.
No, I agree. She definitely is not where, and there's like a 10-year age gap, which isn't always a problem, but I think at certain points in life it can become one if people aren't in like the same vibe. But she's almost 30.
Yeah, Vanessa. Or are you talking about
Sandy? Yeah, I think she was like 27 and he's like 38 or something.
Yeah. So I did write that down.
Yeah, so I can see how they're just in different places, but like in a few years, I think she would be where he is now.
Hi. I didn't do anything. Give me 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
No, I don't apologize.
Yeah.
But I think in a few, so I think she needs to maybe, like if I were her or if I were coaching her or her friend talking to her, I would be like, okay, what if you look ahead and in 2 or 3 years or 4 or 5 years, do you want to be where Nick is? And is it back to that timing thing where you all can figure out a plan to get you to that 3-year mark? Or is it's just done?
Yeah.
Because right now they're not in the same place and that's so obvious, but I think in a few years they might be.
Yeah, totally obvious. Because who is Sandy talking to? She into JR? Was it JR that she was into?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was really like getting it from them, and they both are the receivers, so that I'm not surprised about. And
Yeah.
then like Vanessa and Nick, the givers, I'll be curious to see how the givers and receivers kind of line up because oh, what is her name? Zaina.
Oh, yeah.
She was like to every boy, and she was like, no, 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 I want the one that like wants to get married. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm not playing with the people who are not.
Yes.
And then she found Scotty.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Look on my phone to see because I made a note. Yeah, she and Scotty really like hit it off, didn't they?
They did, but the other, like, the last thing that really was standing out to me in this episode is how Scotty talked to Arya. Like, at the end of the episode, I understand, like, you're in a pressure cooker, like, it's not always your best self but just the way he was like treating her, I was like, red flag right there, girl. Like, that would be enough for me to be like, okay. I just did not. I did not like.
So I didn't like that either. And I also didn't like, I feel like he went like 0 to 100 with, was it Zaina? Yeah. I feel like
he was
0 to 100 with her, and he was just like, I don't know, like too suave, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I did not like the way that he spoke to his nail egg. You know, they had to like break this. But I also did not like that she said that he was gaslighting. I said ghostlight. That's the name of the coffee shop. Gaslighting her because I just felt like she could have married him and could have been with him. So now don't be mad that he's holding hands with somebody else in front of your face.
Yeah. Yes.
This show.
That she reacted that way.
Yeah, so I feel like both of them, I can see why they probably maybe shouldn't end up together because they have this dynamic that is so disempowering and yucky. And it takes both of them to like their not best self, right? And you want to be with someone who brings out the best in you and who like you are your best self with.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I do not think that's the case there. I mean, it was the whole interaction, the whole exchange with that. I just, not saying that, I'm perfect or whatever, or that we never argue in my relationship, but I just don't see, like, if I came to him with like a serious problem, maybe he would react in like a shocked way, but I just was really surprised just how like quickly he got loud. And maybe he had a few drinks, I don't know.
Yeah, he got loud.
Lydia, you need to be quiet, please.
I didn't love I just didn't love his, I look at how men contain.
Go and put the iPad and watch on the iPad. Okay. I think I have a solution. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I look at how men contain women. Like that's kind of a big marker for me because I want to be very contained by my man. Like when I'm in a relationship, like I want him to contain me. And it's not to say that that gives me the right to go like batshit crazy because no, but if I feel really contained, then my nervous system's calm. And then like I'm so much more just at ease. So it's like I don't even, all that shit doesn't come up.
Right.
And if I'm,
go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, and if I'm feeling like something's coming up that's upsetting, the way I communicate that in a relationship where I feel really a lot of masculine containment from my partner is very feminine. Like I can really go to him with my request and my vulnerability and know I'm going to be met with him being able to hold that. And so I thought just that whole interaction between them spoke volumes about their relationship, because how she went to him showed me that she hasn't really received masculine containment from him, and how he approached her verified that. And and also, like, I don't think he gaslighted her. I just don't. Gaslighted,
Yeah,
gaslit, whatever.
gaslit.
Gaslit.
That's it's a buzzword right now that people just like throw out.
It
Like
messes me out. I hate that word.
such a buzzword.
I know.
People like words, just like throw them out there. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I'm not saying the situation they're in is easy. I mean, they chose to be in this situation first of all,
Hmm.
and like by now there's so many reality TV shows out there that they will tell you that there's editing involved and all of these.
Oh
Like if
yeah.
you just and just a little bit, you know that it's not going to be like easy. So I would wonder why these people who go on these shows don't take some time beforehand to like come up with some strategies on how to like settle your anxiety and settle your nerves and like deep breathing exercises like before you're going to go in this situation which you know is going to be extremely stressful,
Hmm.
high tense situations. I
What?
maybe they don't think that that happened to them. I don't know. I would be
Well,
curious.
I also think people don't, a lot of people just don't like even know all the tools that are available to them, or
Yeah.
there's another way to go about it. But was it, I feel like I was gonna say Ari, but I don't think it was Ari. This has been a long time ago on The Bachelor. I don't think it was Ari. I think it was that guy who was, maybe, I can't remember his name, but I think he was like, he was Latino, I believe. And he had been on maybe The Bachelor and came back on Bachelor. I can't remember all the details. It's been a long time ago, but one of them, and I thought it was him, but I could be wrong, had a coach that came on the show with them and like would help them through their decision making, help them through their anxiety. Do you remember that? Did you see that season?
I don't think I saw that season.
It stuck
Are you
out.
talking Pablo? He was Latino.
Who?
Juan Pablo?
That's who I think had it. I think it was him, but again, it's been a long time ago. But I remember,
Crash and I think he was like telling Claire like I don't even like you and she was all nasty to him and
yeah, I just remember that because like, well, I work with people as a coach, but I also always am working with a mentor or a coach or whatever. And I have people in my life like that. And I was real deep into work with my mentor at the time. And I just remember it stood out to me because I thought, oh my gosh, this person like gets it. You really do need, especially like my aunt one time said, oh my God, I think you should go on The Bachelor. It would be so great, And I thought, oh my God, I would have to really pull out all these tools because it's a lot. And you're right. They should, like, maybe the shows should have me on to work with all the people.
right? Hey, let's sign you up, girl. Let's sign you up. I think that would be great. I think you would definitely need a mentor to mentor you through that though. Because there's just so much. And I think like, I mean, obviously producers are there to help support them, but like they
They're not
want to
trained in that, probably.
they're not. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're not.
Like, they
They're
don't
there.
have the education and the training. Like, I've been through years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
I got my master's in this, plus I've done all kinds of years of like consciousness and embodiment coaching to learn work on myself too, to like learn how to do it. But anyway, on that note, one thing I do want to say is that I made a little note about it because it stood out to me that I thought was so cool. So Caleb, he received an ultimatum.
Yes.
And he's so cute. There's something about him, like his eyes.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like with Arya, that was so cute.
Yeah, and he just seems like so pure. But anyway, he said he was concerned. I made a note. He was concerned about who did
Okay, I'll be there and
who
shut.
did he come in with?
Caleb came in with Mariah, and
Okay.
Mariah was the giver. She's 24, and I think she seems pretty mature, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But
Mature vibes,
oh
yeah.
yeah. I remember her. So although I do think she's pretty mature, but I also think I've I watched ahead. Just keep watching and you're gonna I forgot. So I don't think that it's come out about how she was raised yet, has it, on the first episode?
Oh, huh.
But that's in episode 2 because I watched that last night because I couldn't help myself. So anyway,
Okay, I have to catch up.
yeah, just keep watching because then we can revisit. It's not that I don't think she's mature, but I think there's other stuff going on
Okay.
that makes her want to get married now. But anyway, he said that he was concerned about her waking up in her 40s and realizing that they were always just rushing to the next step
Yeah.
instead of enjoying where they are or where
Yeah.
they were, at each thing. And he takes marriage seriously, Caleb, and it wasn't that he doesn't love and care about her, but it was like it felt rushed and like, why can't we enjoy here and not just and I don't remember how long they had been together.
I see that this morning. I'll have to go back into the episode and watch. I did not see that in like the article I was reading.
Yeah, but I thought that was pretty profound that
Yeah.
like, he could say and articulate, look, I don't want her to wake up at 40 and be like, fuck, I didn't enjoy every single thing along the way and wasn't really present. And
Yeah.
it's very masculine, like
Right.
able to just be in the present
Yeah.
is so masculine. So
I
anyway, I liked that.
I think he's super cute. He followed Arya. He was very respectful. He's like, "Do you need a minute? Like, do you need a hug? What can I do for you?" I really like his personality.
Yes. Oh, yes, he did. That was great.
Very intentional versus some of the other ones. I'm not saying they're not intentional. I don't know them that well yet.
Right.
But Dave, Nick, and Caleb give me like
Good
good.
vibes. You know which woman gives me good vibes?
Tell me who.
Zaina.
Okay, okay. She brings a lot of energy to the table. I
feel like even though like, and look, I'm not, when I say this, haters don't be hating. I don't mean feminine women can't work and make tons of money. They can. What I mean by what I'm getting ready to say, I was going to say, even though she has a successful career, or it seems she does, and she like is very independent and works, she's like, I want my man to be my man, take care of me. Like I just get this vibe from her that she really can be in her feminine in relationship.
yeah.
And I love seeing that. I just think as a society, women, and I'm hyper independent. I've had to learn how to like not be so hyper independent. So I'm speaking from my own experience.
Yeah.
But I think like women, it can be glorified in our society and stuff like be independent, take care of yourself, you don't need a man, da 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 da. And like, sure, you can have your career and you can, if that brings you joy, have it. That doesn't mean that having a man be good to you and take care of you is excluded. Like they're not mutually exclusive. You can have both.
I completely agree. And I feel like in our culture today, it's very black and white. It's not, you can be both. It's either my way or your way. Like there's just so many times and situations where there's that lack of like compromise and talk and understanding of each other. It's just very, nope, this is what I think. Nope, this is what I think.
Yeah.
I would be curious. Like, I understand there's a need for a TV show. I get it. But I would want to know, like, how many of these couples have gone to like counseling or sought any kind of like support in that way before they decide to jump into like this show. I
Mhm.
would be, I'm guessing none of them have gone to counseling. I would be
I
curious.
have no idea. I have interesting thoughts about counseling.
Okay. Tell me, now that we're talking about it, this can be our wrap it up. Tell me what you think about counseling.
Well,
Well,
in the traditional sense of like going to a therapist or a counselor, um, I think they often perpetuate victim consciousness.
okay.
Like there's a perpetrator and a victim, or there's someone right and someone wrong, or like rather than thinking about, or like it's like power over, power under. Like there's all these dynamics rather than, ooh, it's juicy to be in relationship with someone who maybe like has different ways that they do things and different belief systems and stuff. And how can you each hold those polarities and like see the complementarity in them and see how it's so complementary and it works perfectly? And there is no victim, there is no perpetrator, there is no, like, both of you can be empowered. So I just feel like,
That's really fascinating.
yeah, I just, and it's not, and like that isn't, doesn't exist in my paradigm. In my paradigm, it's like what I was talking about with the polarity and the complementarity and all of that. So it's just a different way of thinking about it. But I do not believe deep down in myself that that old way of thinking and doing things, and like the old way of therapy and counseling and stuff, I don't think it produces marriages that are the kind of marriage I would want, that are like so expansive and vibrant and pleasure filled and joyful, and everyone gets to be who they are, and they all like, they feel in their power. And I've never seen people who go to those types of their therapists or counselors walk away feeling like, God, I'm in like the marriage of my dreams.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, I would be curious because like lots of, I shouldn't say lots of, but I think Zach and Katie from The Bachelor, and then Kelsey and Joey, and I'm pretty sure Dotton and Charity have talked about how they've all like met with couple counseling like after the show.
Mhm.
So I would be curious what type of they're using because they're all still together at this point.
Yes. Um,
Which I feel like that franchise has realized, like, okay, clearly we can't just like have these people fall in love and dump them into the real world and hope for the best. Like, we have to get them some sort of support so they can learn more in like a productive and positive way.
yes. Yeah, and I'm not saying that there's never a use, just to be clear, for like therapy or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I've
Well, we don't know what
therapy.
type they're doing. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And I would say that I could see why your philosophies would be more expansive versus the other way.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect word. Because I really want to work with people who want to be in their full pleasure and full expression, like that's what I want to inspire people toward. Not just like, okay, how can I from my brain interact with someone to make sure that we can just keep this going?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, that's just like my own little where I'm coming from with it.
thought.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
no,
necessarily.
yeah, knowing who you are, like I can totally see where you're coming from. Especially because therapy, I feel like used to be like you're saying this one way of like dealing with things, and now it's grown to be a lot more. Like what you do is a lot more. No,
Oh, well, thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so this has been really good, and I'm really excited to watch the next episode and talk to you about it.
Oh, yeah.
I like cannot wait.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't even know that I can wait a week.
No, I know. I can't wait either. I mean, we can always record whenever we feel like it, right? So,
We totally with kids or without kids.
yeah.
Okay, so do we want to sign off?
Yeah.
We should totally sign off. So I'm Emily.
Amanda,
It was fun to talk to you today. I loved it.
a blast. So, until next time, I'll see you soon. Enjoy those kiddos.
I will.
All right. Bye.